Okay, so when you're ready.
Hello there, my name is Sarjan. This is Omar, that is irbaaz.
Hello. Hello.
Today we're going to be talking about the history of sculptures throughout the ages. I'm going to start off with the ancient Egyptians. The ancient Egyptians were famous for their very detailed sculptures. They used their sculptures to portray themselves as pharaohs, and they used religion a lot in the sculptures. As we can see, the sculptures are quite large, and there are many of them in Egypt today and some in the British Museum. The sculptures were made mostly by slaves, but pharaohs normally liked professionals to finish off the job. The sculptures are mainly made from limestone, granite and other rare materials that we don't have in Europe and Asia. The sculptures were big in size and depicted religion and life, as I've said before. Now we're going to move on to the Roman era of sculptures, which is between 200 BC and 400 AD. Romans used their sculptures similarly to how Egyptians used it, by portraying the Senate, politics, generals, and to show off their sheer military power. Romans were not too bothered about how their sculptures looked, but cared about what the reactions were. The Senate used sculptures a lot to get our message and grab the public's attention and get them on their side. Romans had specialists from Greek to make the sculptures, and were not very skilled in making them themselves. And lastly for me, we're going to move on to medieval sculptures, which is from the medieval era, from 400 AD to the 1400 AD. Medieval sculptures were made for knights and kings. They were made from mostly by sculptors who trained for years and years in England, Scotland and Wales. Sculptures in the medieval times were very dark and dull. They just wanted to portray a general's power, or wanted to give some sort of a message across. Mostly religion was used in medieval times. As we can see in the picture here, this is a picture of Mary holding her son Jesus Christ. This picture is linked to many other sculptures in medieval times. And that's the end of my turn. I'm going to hand you over to our boss, who will tell you more about the Renaissance age.
This is the Renaissance age. In the 17th and 16th century, statues were very detailed, and they often told a story. Most of the sculptures told a religious story or about famous generals and commanders. The sculptures are very old, and they bring out the best of the rebirth. The Renaissance era mostly concentrated on the beautiful things, whereas the medieval era concentrated on the negative things. Thank you. Now I'm going to pass it over to Omar.
Hello. For me, the most famous sculpture is modern sculptures. Not because it's just new, because the materials they use is quite fascinating and amazing. We use and recycled materials, which are cans, newspapers, and is to express their feelings about how the environment is changing over the past few years. It's used from environmental friendly materials to show that you do not need to chuck everything, all the stuff away. They can be reused or something like that. Thank you.
Good, okay. Omar, sorry. Which is your favourite era? If you look at all those different times of when sculptures are made, which one's your favourite and why, do you think?
Modern sculptures.
Okay, and why do you prefer that style?
Because them are natural materials they can use to make art, but this one's like a different material to use art. That's why.
Good. Irbaaz, same question. Which do you prefer? Which do you find most attractive? What do you find most interesting?
Ancient Egypt.
Okay, and why?
Because their sculptures look more interesting.
Okay, excellent. And
For me, it will be ancient Egypt because of the detail of the sculptures and the process that they went through to make it.
wonderful. Any questions, guys? Yes, right?
Were the sculptures, were any of the sculptures of gods or anything?
In
Yes, there were a lot of sculptures made for gods and pharaohs who portrayed themselves as gods.
Irbaaz? Sorry, yeah, Karen?
He stole my point.
Ah.
So
And
Okay.
this is a religious figure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.